Good day, members of the press. Yesterday we met as the Citizens' National Assembly on an extraordinary basis and came up with the following positions and resolutions.
Hello guys, welcome back to MaMp TV. Panobatiro kupaina dzakasiyana-siyana. MaMp tese tiri kutora nzvimbo kumachimana yenyika nedzimwe nzvimbo dzakatikomberedza. As we all know kuti zuva ranhasi bato reCCC kana Citizens Coalition for Change ranga rine press conference yaro apo pavanga vachiadresa vemedia maererano nematanho aveve kuda kutora. I think kuti vanhu vakawanda vanzwa a very short press conference yanga ichitaurwa ipapo vasina kunzwa the full one kuti yanga ichitaura nezvekuti kudii. Taona kuti zuva ranhasi vaswera vachitsanangudza step by step yavari kuda kutora. Vanhu vakawanda vanga vachibvunza mibvunzo yakasiyana-siyana, especially mibvunzo wekuti bato reCCC rinofanirwa kuwithdrawa member aro eCCC muparliament. Vanhu vakawanda vanga vachida kunzwa kuti bato reCCC richadavira kuti kudini, asi this video kana this audio pabuda pachitsanangudzwa zviri clear machallenges ari kusangana nebato reCCC maererano nezviri kutarisirwa nevanhu kuti vange vachizviita, nokuda kwokuti vati zvinhu zvinoda kuti zvinhu zvisingangoiti nje, nokuda kwokuti hanzi isusu tiri bato rinobhilivha kuconstitution yeZimbabwe. That's why muri kuona zvichidzila nemakotsi. Guys, ndingada kupedzera nguva ndati muzvinzwire umega spokesperson weCCC vapromise mukwananzi vachianza each and every question yankanga yanga ichibvunzwa nevanhu maererano nekuti idanho ripi ravanoda kutora pamaererano nezviri kutaurwa kuti vanoda kuwithdrawa kana vanofanirwa kuwithdrawa muparliament, uye kana vakasawithdrawa chii chichavatadzisa kana kuti izvi zvichazoitika pamberi. Guys, ngada kutaura zvakawanda noti muzvinzwire omega this full press conference yanga ichiitwa nhasi kana yaitwa nhasi nebato reCCC. Muzonza zvamunofunga mucomment section. Asi kana first time to be here, I welcome kusubscribe mahara. Kusubscribe paMaMp TV is the way to go. Till next time, it's goodbye.
Good day, members of the press. Yesterday we met as the Citizens' National Assembly on an extraordinary basis and came up with the following positions and resolutions. The CNA met to deliberate on the political and economic developments in the country and noted the deepening political crisis that threatens the very fabric of our country. The Assembly noted the spiraling economic decay in the country. The cost of living continues to increase beyond the reach of the majority. The value of the currency continues to deteriorate against the US dollar and other currencies within the multi-currency basket to the detriment of the people's buying power. The cholera outbreak remains the biggest health scare with no tangible solutions from the illegitimate government of the day. The human rights situation is continuing to deteriorate with cases of abduction, harassment, torture, and forced disappearances increasing. A case in point is the reported case of the abduction and torture of student representatives at Nyaya University, Valentine Zico, during their campaigns. The persecution by prosecution of our MP for Mavuku, Honorable Kumfa Akuzivi, abuse of state institutions. The Assembly further noted the unrelenting onslaught on the will of the people of Zimbabwe by the ZANU-PF regime and the continued abuse of state institutions such as Parliament, Zimbabwe Election Commission, in subverting the electoral processes. The Assembly resolved to demand that government must stop wasteful expenditure including unlawful by-elections and redirect resources to the pressing needs of the citizens, in particular the dilapidated healthcare system. The Assembly resolved not to recognize the unlawful conduct and outcome of the December 9 by-elections and directed the appropriate bureaus to seek the setting aside of the charade. The CNA reiterates that Mr. Chabangu is not a member or the Secretary General of the party as the party has no such position, and resolved to bar him from using the party symbol, the brand, the logo, and any other property of the party. The Assembly to resolve to further consult with the citizens on the party's continued participation in Parliament and local authorities. The Assembly adopted a political program and a roadmap to legitimacy. The statement has come to the end. I will ask Honorable Agent Gumbo here to come in and give us an explanation on the state of our legal cases and what has transpired in the courts.
Thank you very much, Champion Mkwananzi. I must first start by reiterating that the position that we have taken as a party is that we shall not abandon our legal processes or our legal actions in a quest to resolve the ongoing issues around capture of the people's will, around restoring democratic tenets in this country. We believe in the courts as institutions of the Constitution. Many may ask, why do you continue to go to courts when you get, or you continue to get adverse rulings and adverse findings against the party? Courts are creatures of the Constitution. And as a party, we believe in constitutionalism. We do reserve our right, however, to disagree with some of the findings that the courts may arrive at. We do reserve our rights to make comments where we believe and where we think that there is an overarching effect of the executive in the judiciary. We do reserve our rights to continuously state our position in regards to the findings that the courts continue to make. Just as a quick update on the court matters that we have had, you would know, firstly, that there is a judgment which was granted on an interim basis by Justice Chitapi, which judgment has the effect of stopping Mr. Sengezo Chavangu from writing to the Speaker of Parliament, writing to the Minister of Local Government, or effecting any recalls against members of the Citizens Coalition for Change. And this relief is on an interim basis pending the determination of a case which seeks to deal with the question of his legitimacy, the question of his authority to represent the CCC. So that judgment is extant, and that judgment, we believe, will be upheld by whosoever is affected by it. We have, as a party, taken issue with certain decisions that have been made by our High Court, particularly a judgment which was handed down by Justice Mutevezi, which judgment focused on the initial recalls, the challenge by our honorable members who were illegally and fraudulently recalled, which judgment essentially sought to say that Mr. Sengezo Chavangu can act on behalf of the party, or sought to say that the actions by Mr. Chavangu were above board. But again, what we have said is that is a judgment that was made in error, and we have taken that matter up on appeal, and that appeal is pending before the Supreme Court. And until the determination of that appeal, I must end the debate. The noting of the appeal suspends the operation of any finding and any ruling and any judgment which would have been made by the lower court. You would also note that there is a recent court judgment which was made and delivered by Justice Katillo. That particular judgment had the effect of removing our candidates from the 9 December by-election. Sengezo Chavangu and company approached the courts, claiming that the candidates who had been duly nominated by the nomination court had been so nominated irregularly. We opposed that application, and unfortunately, it was granted by Justice Katillo. We have since again appealed against that judgment. But here is the most interesting thing about that particular judgment by Justice Katillo. The appeal against the said judgment was done immediately after the order was made available to us as a party and to the litigants. And the effect of the appeal, if the Musa Kika versus Luke Malawa case is anything to go by, the appeal suspended Justice Katio's judgment. And we were shocked to then receive news that there was an urgent chamber application which had been filed by Mr. Sengezo Chavangu et al. Seeking to execute the judgment by Katio pending our appeal. And this comes at the backdrop of a narrative that had been pushed by Chavangu and et al. That the appeal does not suspend the operation of the Katio judgment. We engaged the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission, letters were written to the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission, advising them of the said appeal, advising them that they must not remove our candidates from the ballot paper. And nicodemously, and I say nicodemously because it was done in the dead of the night, we hear that a matter has been set down in which an urgent chamber application for execution pending appeal was to be heard. We take issue with the processes and we take issue with how that happened. Why? Because number one, the interested parties in that particular application were not a party to the hearing. And I say not a party to the hearing because here I was representing the Citizens Coalition for Change. The application was filed Sunday night at my office. The other litigants were represented by Mbizo Muchadahama and Makoni, legal practitioners, who also received an application in the dead of the night. And were only advised through the registrar of the High Court that there was a case management meeting before Justice Muzenga Friday night. Only one of our lawyers were advised, and only one of our lawyers appeared in a virtual court hearing. They thought it was a case management. Turns out it was not case management, it was an actual hearing. But the thing is, the lawyer, Mr. Jeremiah Bamu, who was appearing in that matter, was not the man reposed with instructions to represent the litigants. And this fact was made known to the court, but nonetheless, the court decided to proceed and determine the application for execution pending appeal. Hence, the granting of that order somewhere towards midnight, and shockingly, the very morning, the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission was ready with ballot papers which had our candidates removed on it for the 9 December by-election. So we take issue with how these processes were conducted, and we have taken the necessary legal steps to address our discontent, to address our objections to this judgment. It has now been taken also under appeal. We've appealed against the judgment, we've appealed against the Katio judgment, and we have also taken necessary steps through the Judicial Service Commission. We are taking necessary steps in the Registrar's Office. We are taking necessary steps within the confines of the rules of the court to challenge the decision to execute the judgment pending our appeal. That is the status of our case. This Friday, there is a matter that is appearing before Justice Kwenda, and I will not delve much into that matter because it is a matter that is pending, and it's pending argument. I will not risk arguing the case on this podium. But that is a matter, between the Citizens Coalition for Change and our 22 recalled candidates against the Speaker of Parliament, the President of the Senate, and now, we were surprised to hear of the joining of Mr. Sengezo Chavangu and what he is terming the Citizens Coalition for Change. That matter is pending determination and shall be decided after the Friday's hearing. Thank you very much.